Let's see. Money goes in. I'm gonna play a final table with more than $105,000 for first. This is the craziest final table I've played this year, given that my opponents are shoving ridiculous hands against me. But lucky enough, we get good hands.
Against Leon. We could raise actually. He's gonna have some ace 3, ace 4, ace 5. And get it in against those hands. He's not shoving ace 4 suited, ace 8, ace 7. If he has ace queen, ace jack, we're dying anyway. Okay, 5 is a bit bad. But I think even if he's on king 10, queen 10, our line looks like very draw heavy. So I really like to play this a little bit faster here. Snap call doesn't need to mean any. I mean, this is just fucking 15 big blinds are giving me this flop. We're on the money bubble. Ace queen's possible. So like, I mean, we can still have ace 9 suited, king 9 suited, so just keep checking. Hope checks down against 7s or ace 6. I mean, ace 6, ace 5 here, probably 3 bets pre-flop quite frequently. Yeah, river is probably. Let's see, timing wise, half pot? What the fuck, man? Just a random ace high, ace jack, ace 7, ace 8, ace 3 suited. I mean, he covers me. His range could actually still be wider than I think, because again, he covers us, right? It's either ace queen, like this value range is just so narrow. Queen jack suited, it's really just either queen or nothing. I think the shove is fine. I'm gonna bet here. We might have 2 streets of value against 3x, 4x. I'm gonna bet small again. Just blocking against 3x, 4x. Fucking hell, like people are just... Really? I mean, he's probably jammed. I'm not gonna start that for sure. Of course.
And if you want to see more crazy punts later on the final table, my opponents are gonna be shoving insane hands against me. So stay tuned, you don't wanna miss that action.
I was just about to say, no ace, no king. He already wakes up with the good end. Against this guy. I mean, the thing is, I feel like king, queen, ace, queen, it's just such a natural hand to check back on the turn. You really don't want to face a check raise or check jam. You want to realize your equity, but like you have ace deuce, ace 5, which are a lot better to bear. You have your queen 8, 7 9s, 9 8. Maybe 9 8 would also check back if I follow that logic. I'm not sure I love it because I want to have jack 5. Right? Maybe you don't have jack 5. Like, I mean, this is what I mean. Like, if someone is just so out of line with bluffs, you cannot like wait until you have the perfect, because then jack 8 off is just, this is the new optimum. And this guy obviously can't help himself by bluffing, so I'm just gonna keep hero calling hands I'm not supposed to hero call. What? He snap check flop, snap check turn, and then pots it. Almost pot 80%. Pocket fours, pocket threes, random king high. But like, unless he's like owning me big time, it really doesn't make a lot of sense, chat. Maybe it's like a funky slow play, but pocket fours? I think it's the only hand that makes sense. Just like, oh fuck, I didn't. My hand is good until the showdown, and then this river comes in. So I 3-bet, he calls, check flop, he leads turn. Here we have to call. I think we have a very good bluff catcher. We don't necessarily need, I mean, it would be better to have the ace in hearts. He's still jack 9, jack 8 suited probably covers us, bounty. I think I'm gonna call this. Almost, I mean, one gets there, jack 9 suited, it's king jacks. Nice. I mean, actually, I cover him, it doesn't matter. I mean, then at least we have the incentive if we win the bounty. Whatever. So he limps, I think, yeah, especially with the big blind in the hand. Our hand should do quite well. I'm just gonna call here. I do think it makes sense to also do this occasionally with strong hands. Because if I don't raise, do I lead now? I think I want to lead. He's checking back queen jack queen 10 now too often, and we have like too many 2 pairs. Could potentially bluff like ace 9, king 9 clubs would be my bluffs. Maybe something. Things. What? Wait, he has a straight. Alright, we're going for a big booty here against Barak. He already has 2 bounties. He's gonna schmecken. What are these boards? How can he have 28%? Lord, give me just some like relaxing time here. Just like give him 0, like give him 1% on the turn. Ace king suited. We're going to. What do we induce? I'm gonna induce. Put it in, buddy. Alright, we're all in. That's a big one. It's not snapping. Guess like jacks, 10s. 10s, wow. Nice. That's Sunrun. That's Sunrun. Winning these all-ins is Sunrun. I'm definitely going to shoving my aces and kings quite often because I know the queen just... If you 3-bet and the board comes like queen 10, queen 9, jack 9, it really connects with your 3-betting range. You have some king queen suited, ace jacks, ace queens. And you just get the money. And I will sometimes also check aces and kings to set a trap. The thing is, if he's ahead, he's flipping. Because I'm going to be shoving nut flush draws, an ace 4 suited, a king 5 suited, whatever I've been fucking around with pre-flop. Ace kings, right? And if I happen to have maybe a random queen 4 off that I was fucking, or queen 4 suited, you have 10%. So we're on the final table of the 1K heater. We're chip leading. Actually, I'm gonna 3-bet call against this guy, and here we forward. He's super punty, I knew it. Come, hold. Nice. I'm gonna reshove the ace 9 off here, 3-handed. It's quite a battle. Oh, call. But a bit of a 10 call. It could be. Okay. I had wrong dreams. Oh. GG. Well played. We're gonna defend here. I mean, of course, they're horny for my bounty, right? We call once with the vector flush draw. If he bets, I mean, he's gonna have some queen jacks, king jacks, right? I think I'm gonna jam chat. I think this sizing is weird, flop sizing is weird. Unless he has like ultra nuts, I'm gonna rip it in. I'm gonna rip it in. Good luck us. Did he flop it? At least we have equity. GG. I was, so either he flopped it with a set, and since this is very unlikely, and he can have a bunch of king jacks, queen jacks that are ahead of us that he can barrel, or maybe some random ace heights, because we're gonna have a lot of call. I think it's a really good turn jam. I mean, just unlucky we run into a set. I would do it again. Call. F3 bets. Good jam. Yeah, I think a pocket 8's just too strong here. And the setup. Yeah, if he jams with 3 bets, I'm gonna go with this end. Yeah, good luck us. Oh wow. I mean, this is better than a 9 or 5. GG. I mean, that's the dream outcome, right? And this is also what you need when you run deep, to run with 8s into 7s, into 6s, especially in these spots. And downswing is also not just losing or winning flips, but if you're calling and you're not running into their bottom range that you have crushed, right? You call, they have queen jack suited, king 10 suited, you constantly have those coin flips, which is of course super tilting. So we got 3 pretty interesting deep runs. The 1K high roller 40 left. We're a bit short here, but easy to spin it up. We're on the bubble of the 10K, and we are second in chips from the 1K main. Ace-9 off versus a cutoff jam, unless I have crazy reads, should always be a call. Let's just make sure there's no pay jump. I hope not, no. So we're gonna call this. Should be ahead of off is Ace-X. Open jams 10s. Jesus, okay, then I think this might be a really bad call. And I mean, you're playing so scared, man. Good game, buddy, good game. But if you watch next time min race, so you get my regems from 3s, deuces. Don't be afraid to play post flop. I'm a bit afraid of his 2.5x open, but I also know that the Brazilians like to do it with weaker hands. Jack 9. Okay, that's bad. Yeah. Alright. GG. Oh, we got it in good with our stack. I think there was so much we gotta fold with aces, unfortunately. Ace queen off. Probably gonna be 3-bet calling and all in against cutoff. Reshoving against him. Let's see. What I'm gonna do against his open. Probably also 3-bet. He jams with an easy call. I hope it's not again second nutting nuts range against top range. Because now it would start hurting our stack, but I'm gonna go for a 3-bet. A little bit over, like around, I think everything between 3x and 4x is fine. Pretty quick, alright. Oh, it's not what I wanted to see. I mean, it's probably like it's fine, it's profitable, but I know when people are capable of jamming those, they also jam like ace-5, ace-4, ace-3 suited, you know? And it would just be so much better to get it in against those hands and coin flipping, but what the fuck, man? I check flop, I check turn, now we check raise river. guess we call. Nice hand, buddy. I could have lost a lot more there. I would have, if I bet the flop, he check raised. Like, that's why I don't really care, because technically if I see bet, he raise, I call once. I lose exactly the amount, same amount if I would have floated the flop against the raise or on the turn with a second pair. So it's not really like especially his small check raise there, because typically you would raise to 4x or something like this. So I don't really care here. It's totally fine. So yeah, we're hand for hand, final table bubble, and we're 2 out of 13 in the high roller 1k main. We're gonna play this down today to the winner, and final table is gonna be on Tuesday here for the 10k, I think, right? Queens in the 1k main, we are 13 left. We're also approaching the final table bubble. Money goes in against all of the stacks. Small blind really depends. Against some racks, I would 4-bet all day long and get all the 5-bet jams from ace-5 suited and crap. 53 bets, I think we just call it, play in position with our queens. Alright, that's nice. Just make sure with queens, yeah. I think it's a nice rejam. What a card. Never easy. Nice. Oh wait, there's no lane on. Oh, we're on the final table chat. Nice. The money goes in, my friend. Freedom 35.
Don't waste time with the centerfolds. I'm alive, it's a miracle. Freestylist is middle school. I will battle the principal. We're all black like a funeral.
Sick jam. Alright, let's get right into the first spot. You might intuitively say, what a punt, oh my god. The difference between you and me and any other high stakes pro is you want to be right and we want to win. My instinct was, of course, very loose play, might be a punt, but I'm always eager to learn. And if we look into his response, even with all of the short stacks, in fact, it is the theoretically correct play to 4-bet jam king 10 suited sometimes. Now, the question becomes, is it necessarily if he gives himself an edge? But it's definitely not a punt, because I will be 3-betting really aggressively here. Now, the question is, am I going to be that aggressive? He's supposed to open 23.3%, and we're supposed to be 3-betting very, very, very aggressively here versus the cutoff with all these short stakes. As you can see, Jack 4 suited, Queen 4 suited, very aggressive. Yet, shoving King 10 suited is quite marginal, but technically, if I play an ideal strategy, this is his ideal counter strategy. Well, you might wonder, oh, ICM, is he not supposed to wait and to ladder with all the short stakes? Yes and no. He still wants to take aggressive spots or aggressive counter strategies versus very aggressive strategies. In that case, when we 3-bet. Bottom line here is, there are arguments, I do understand someone say, I think it's a minus EV play. There are arguments, it's a plus EV play. It depends on how I play this spot. I don't want to go too much into detail here because I share a lot of information reads on my opponents if I would play, how I would play against him or other regulars. But saying, no, this is an ICM punt and not taking it further just shows that you will never succeed in poker. It is about winning. It is not about being right. And sometimes it's somewhere in the middle, whether this is now a very profitable play or punt, but it's definitely very interesting to expand your horizon, to question these plays, to analyze, to adjust, and then based on that, make the correct decisions. Very interesting spot for sure. Remember, if you have access, we have also uploaded all of these spots to ICM Paired, so you can hit the play button and practice all of these ranges here, all of these situations with all the different stacks. Very interesting situation, by the way, with having these extreme short stacks, how you're supposed to play this. And yeah, always also ace-9 off here. What are we 3-betting? What are we calling? What are we shoving? This would literally excelling your ICM game to new heights.
It's kind kind of funny how this shit goes. Man, I keep my head so high, even though they try to bring me low. And now all of those same people calling my name. It's kind of funny how this shit goes. Man, I swear I can't explain all of those days spent in my parents' basement.
All right, let's have a next look at was my all-in tens against A7 suited. And I was not sure if A7 suited is such a good jam. Actually, it is, yeah. It feels to me more like a min raise, and we see that it wants to min raise. Very often these bottom suited aces, they want to min raise a lot of the times. But it's a profitable jam. I mean, he's the shortest stack, so you can take that spot. And we're gonna be calling sevens plus. I think against a lot of opponents I would call eights plus. I'm a really good position here. I don't want to risk losing my chip lead against him, so I don't need to take every marginal spot, even though I can afford it. I mean, I can just open so wide, I get so many walks, I get so many first in spots, 3-bet spots, that my goal here is to avoid marginal spots. I don't mind keeping this six-handed game alive the way it is with the shorty present, so I don't really have an incentive to bust him at all cost.
I hope he 3-bets. Alright, good luck. People are really trying to punt it off. I mean, it's like, honestly, I think this is a correct shove in theory.
So the next spot, our opponent just ripped it in with ace-2 suited. I want to have a look how we're supposed to play the small blind here first. Of course, yeah, we actually play almost any two cards. So we basically play something of like 96% of our hands, mix of raising and calling. And we see we want to do lots of raising, very little limping. I mean, still read it like 20%, but raising 76% of the time. And I wanted to see, once we raise 4x, so we raise to 4 big blinds, if this big blind wants to have a shoving range versus us. I think it's a very interesting spot. And the suited hands, definitely not. The off-suited hands, he actually wants to have, no, sorry. Yeah, he wants to jam a little bit these hands here. It's interesting that he wants to jam ace-king off. Naturally, to me, this is better to just induce. Because now what you need to understand is that 5-handed, the ICM impact drops. And also him doubling up essentially increases his odds of winning the whole tournament. Doubling up with 45 to 90 big blinds is just so massive here that he really has a lot of upsides of doubling up. Let's imagine he has 35 big blinds here. He has more incentive of waiting until the cutoff busts, because if he doubles up, he's going to be 70 big blinds. He's still going to be behind us. So I would instinctively 3-bet queens plus ace-king for sure. Jacks. I don't really see the point of shoving jacks, because the small blind, since he opens so wide, if he faces a 3-bet with the big blind, we see we're supposed to be mega aggressive here, right? If you open 70% of your hands, you have to defend a lot against 3-bets, of course. And a lot of that is going to be jamming. But the question is big blind really 3-betting that much? I mean, this is, again, very player dependent. This is where learning these, practicing it, so you develop an awareness of how these spots function. And then the final step is to extrapolate this based on the player types. Because very often, against a lot of player types, they're not finding these bluff 3-bets. You can open raise 70% of your hands and you fold almost 90% against a 3-bet, just because they're always going to have a strong hands. On the opposite side, against, hello my Brazilian friends, if you 3-bet too much here, you can just 4-bet jam like you're 10-6 suited, and it's going to be profitable. ICM is very sensitive. That's why a small adjustment, a small deviation from an optimal strategy leads to enormous adjustments and aggressive jams or very nitty folds, and it's a correct play. This is why ICM is so fun and leads to crazy plays that most won't understand, like the King 10 suited jam earlier. And you see a lot of players not understanding it. And if you want to make it in poker, and if you want to make consistent winnings, you should question those and you should try to understand it and not judge it too early.
I mean, this is absolutely insane. I mean, it's good that also those hands hold, right?
But I was thinking I wanted to raise 3.5x. I felt like if I open a little bit bigger, that I might get some jams, but also more 3-bets where I can easily have more dead money against the jams, against the 3-bets. I think Kevin rejams pretty much any ace with this stack against my button open 20 bigs now. I think I'm gonna check the turn. Jamming doesn't make sense, raising makes no sense. If he jams, we have an easy call. You can still jam 9-6 here, the Queen 9, Jack 9. He gets there with some 6-7s, it sucks, but we're definitely going to be calling here. Queen 9, Jack 9, 9-7, 9-6 suited. Yeah, he's jamming any trips here against our A6 with his deck to pot ratio, so we are not going anywhere. Jack 7, clubs, yeah, possible. It's not thrilling, but we're gonna put him in with the rest in case he has a 9-7. Nothing we can do there. I'm going happily broke here with ace king. I'm gonna 3-bet against this guy. Good luck to me.
The more expensive lessons will be. Gotta tighten up, move a little bit more militant. Coming down your block, looking like we copped the whole dealership. Penthouse suites, but couldn't tell you what city. Same ones who stay.
Barry on the river. What are people ripping in against me? This final table is insane. I mean, it's a pretty bad open, and this is a bad open. Oh, we got an all in. Classic race.
Progressing every track, comparing me to this and that. I don't give a damn if you can rap, then you can fucking rap. Did this my way, Midwest on the movement. Skipped on college, but I could get brain like I'm.
All right, we're heads up.
They tell me that I'm cocky, I tell them relax.
We call again. Alright, good luck. Ace, deuce, 3, 4, 5. Woo! I mean, that's kind of a cooler. We got lucky there on the river. GG, guys. That's a nice score.
The next day.
Alright, here we go. I mean, the thing is, one double up. We're pretty close to the mid pack. So even though we're one of the shortest stacks. Okay, this is good. This helps. Just thinking, I mean, ideally he open jams. I think we're just gonna limp and hope Adrian is gonna do something. And then we just call it off if he jams, or we jam ourselves if he raises. Because he can still raise ace-9 suited, which makes a lot of sense to get. Alright, good luck us. Nice. Oh, I had it yesterday. Maybe now against me. GG. That was a short one. I mean, that's just the cooler. And the final spot that I wanted to look up is how I am supposed to respond with ace jack off. I felt like I kind of need to defend this one. Again, with 3-betting really wide here against this stack. You open relatively wide from the cutoff, there is a lot of pressure on you. And I felt like if I 3-bet fold ace jack off, it feels like I'm 3-bet folding off my range. I mean, I have to say this guy hasn't been in particular like super aggressive. It's easy to be out of line in this spot with your not only 4-bet bluffs. So let's see if your face is 3-bet. I mean, 4-bet bluffs. You see, you kind of just want to use ace. I guess like a lot of players would also use kings and queens here. But you see like the bluffs are very few. I also don't see the point of, I mean, ace queen off is interesting that you want to fold here. It's probably because you open tight. I guess our button 3-bet range is still relatively tight. Sorry, facing an open versus cutoff. It's actually still quite aggressive. I'm quite surprised, but I've seen this quite often that ace queen off is doing a lot of tight folding, a lot of these ICM situation. So let's see, facing a 4-bet versus cutoff. Yeah, I mean, we never want to 3-bet this in the first place, to be honest, right? We just want to flat. So that's the mistake here that I 3-bet this hand. I decided to 4-bet, which is not 3-bet. And you see, if we want to do something, we never, I guess ace jack off, ace 10 off calls a little bit. So I guess ace jack off the correct play would to call, but my situation was good. It's not that I was super aggressive on this table as well, so I think my image was fine. And if I'm not really sure what to do, I mostly lean towards folding. Very often when I make a 3-bet against a certain player, I know exactly how this, or I have a good idea how this player rolls. So I already know if he 4-bets me, I'm going to rip my ace 5 suited, or I'm going to defend. I never have this like in-between decision. So yeah, ace jack off, I was not really already thinking ahead. I just wanted to get value. I wanted to value 3-bet against his king jacks, ace 10 suited, jack 10 suited that I think he would call, or maybe like some ace 9, ace 8 suited. Because as you can see, and this is also an exploit I'm making, that he's supposed to fold like crazy against 3-bets. We see that here. Ace 9. I think a lot of players are defending too many of those, like ace 9 suited, king 10 suited, queen jack, jack 10 suited, and then 3-betting ace jack off becomes enormously profitable. So again, and if you struggle with any of these spots, or you want to also study like different stacks here, you just hit the trainer and you can simulate so many final tables. And a lot of these sims, you have additional video content and I explain you in between, or you see a video attached and you can watch the video of, okay, if I play this 4-handed final table, these would be my adjustments. This is what I would not do in reality. And here I would push it further or be tighter. So it's really cool stuff and will just make you such an ICM final table beast. So I hope you enjoy these little explanation videos in between of the hands. So you also learn more about how to crush final tables. And don't forget, we just recently added brand new ranges to our ICM tier in paired, where we analyze and break down how to play against recreationists. So we give them potato middle position ranges, potato button ranges. What does it mean? Of course, very often we face players that are very bad, that limp too much, that raise too little, that call too much against 3-bets, and we have been running those spots. Also showing you if you face multiple limps, what are you supposed to raise? What are you supposed to overlimp? And a lot of these drills you find in a new category on the left side here, live poker, and you get access to these spots with explanation videos in between that helps you to understand what we're doing certain things. We already added a couple of scenarios. We're going to be adding more scenarios. Basically, what if the button is very aggressive and loose? How does it impact our preflop range? Because we want to feed the solver with data that reflects real player types. And then you can practice it the same way as you can do with final tables. So we want to teach you poker in a realistic way. So you learn real poker and not just some pre-run sims that most of the players are never playing. And once you see ranges, okay, this is how I play against an aggressive opponent. This is how I play against the passive opponents. You're never going to sit there and guessing, oh, I know my standard GTO Chippy V range is awesome. I have a great solver score, but now I play against this beast who's super aggressive. I have no fucking clue what to do. I'm knitting around, or you punt it off randomly, or against this really weak opponent, you have actually no fucking clue how to exploit them. So this is where you can really hammer in proper ranges, and you know when to be aggressive, We have one spot where middle position is a fish, it's playing a fish range. How are we supposed to respond from hijack cutoff button? Same for button. What if the middle position player limps? What if cutoff limps behind? What's our response on the button? What's our response from the blinds? What are we raising from the blinds? Insane value. Check it out if you have access to the ICM tier. We add this live poker stuff. You can also use it for online poker because essentially you're going to face the same players online as well. I know when I was in Vegas, I had so many unique scenarios where people playing 80% VPIP, 40% VPIP. When I returned, I told myself, I want to look up these spots. I want to drill them. I want to be better prepared, not only for live, but also online to make more money off recreationals. And we're adding it to ICM paired. So you get more value, more exploitative poker, more real poker to be fair. So check it out. If you're interested in ICM paired, we put everything in the description. Thank you guys for tuning in. That's just sometimes how it is. Oops.